Hello, my name is Darren Thomas and I'm the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to continue looking at the law of cosines, but this time we're going to explore side, side, side. So let's go ahead and get started. So, when you are dealing with a triangle, for example, you have the following triangle here. You can see that I know the length of each side. A equals 5, B equals 7, C equals 10. However, I don't know the degree or the size of the angle, if you will, for each of these respective sides. And what I want to do here is I want to figure this out. Now, the law of sines will not work here because the law of sines always requires at least one angle. However, the law of cosine will. And so the formula for this, let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you first. The formula for this particular situation is as follows. You're going to have, if you have a squared, well, then you're going to be dealing with cosine alpha. That's something that you need to understand real quick. And so then you're going to have b squared. So whatever side you're using, you're going to have the other two sides on the right of the equal sign, if you will. So since I have a squared and I'm using alpha, that means I'm going to be using b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc multiplied by cosine of alpha. And so if I were to move this, let me do a different color here. If I were to move this guy here, have these guys switch places, well then guess what's going to be over here? This will be beta now, etc., etc. So as I swap out whatever side I'm trying to figure out, because in this particular example, I'm trying to figure out the length of side A. If I want to know the length of side A, I'm going to be trying to find, I'm trying to find the angle of the angle of side A. Whatever I'm trying to deal with over here is going to be the corresponding angle over here, and then these two will swap out accordingly. That's the point. Now, here's the example we're going to be working with here. And we know the three sides, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the side, or not the side, but the angle alpha. That's what we're going to do. So if we were to follow that thought, our formula will work out to be something like this. So let me see if I can make this nice and clear for you. My a is going to be, a squared is going to be 5 squared equals, so b squared is 7 squared plus c squared, which is 10 squared, minus 2 times 7, that's because that's my b, times 10, run out of space here, times, I can get it, cosine A. We don't know what cosine alpha is yet. I should have said alpha, excuse me. Now, if I simplify that, I'm just going to make this nice and clear as possible. So we know that 5 squared is 25, and then equals 7 squared is 49, plus 10 squared is going to be plus 100, minus 7 times 10 is 70, times 2 is going to be minus 140, and we still don't know cosine of alpha just yet. Now you can probably see here that basic ideals apply here. We're just going to use some basic solving for cosine A here, not that deep. So we need to simplify this. So we still got 25, that hasn't changed, equals 149 minus 140 cosine A. Then the next thing we do is we just subtract, we subtract 149 from each side. Yes, 149 from each side. And then we get, we're stuck with negative 124 over here equals negative 140 cosine alpha. Now we divide both sides by 140. Like so. And we are left with negative divided by negative is a positive, and it's actually going to be 0.88 equals cosine alpha. We're very, very close now. Now we do the inverse of this. So I'm going to put this in a different color because it's kind of important. Let's see here. How about this color? So we're going to do cosine negative 1 And then this side is going to be 0.88 equals, or approximates alpha. And so we end up with the final answer of alpha equals 27.7 degrees. This is our answer right here. We're going to need this in a second. So that's going to be 27.7 degrees. All right, so we know one side, we know alpha. Now we're going to go through the same process to solve beta. So here's our same little guy here. I'm going to put our answer for alpha is going to be 27.7. And now let's do the process again, but this time we're solving for angle beta, this guy right here. So we repeat what we did. So I know the length of side B, that's 7 squared. Since we're familiar with some things, I'm going to skip a few steps to save space. So let's see here. So we're going to have 7 squared, that's 49. This is the side B, equals, now we got A squared, that's going to be 5. 5 squared is going to be 25. And then plus 100, because C, when you square C, is going to be 100. And then it's going to be minus 2. And then we're going to have angle A, or side A, side C, and then cosine of beta. That's what we got here. So we're going to make this simple. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 times 2 is 100. So we're going to have, and then, so we got 100 here, minus 100. And then we're going to have 25 plus 100 is 125. And then we still have cosine of beta. And then we still have 49 here. All right. So we're going to subtract 125 from both sides. So minus 125, minus 125. And so that leaves us, I'll just help you out here, with negative 76 equals negative 100 times cosine of beta. And so then we divide both sides by negative 100. And so let me just put some space here so we don't get lost. Oh, that's not right. I might need some of that space there. So we end up with negative 100. And so now we end up with 0.76 equals cosine of beta, like so. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to find the inverse. So I do cosine negative 1, negative 1. Let's see here, 0.76 will give me an answer to beta. Almost got the answer here. And so if I finish this, the answer for beta is going to be 40.5. You can look it up on a calculator if you desire. That's the answer. All right, so we now know what the answer to beta is. So let's find gamma. So here's our last one. So we know alpha is 27.7, beta is 40.5. Well, gamma is going to be easy. All we have to do is the following. No need for any kind of fancy calculation. We just do the following trick. We just take 180 minus angle A, which is 27.7, minus angle B, which is 40.5. And if you put that on your calculator, you get 111.8. So we know that gamma equals 111.8, like so. And we're done. Not that hard, not that difficult. We had to, because see, once you find the two angles, we know a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So there is no reason to use the law of cosine for the last angle. So we kind of did a little shortcut there. So let's go back and talk about what happened and then wrap up the video. So in this video, we talked about the law of cosine for side, side, side. And so the basic equation, as I already showed you, was right here. You can see that is a squared. If you want to find the angle alpha, you have side A squared here equals B squared, side B squared plus C squared minus 2 times side B times side C equals cosine of alpha. That's how you do it. And so we went through that process. Right here we had our example. We went through the process here using the different sides as appropriate. It's really just basic math. There's nothing mystical about it. And we were able to find the different sides. Now we had to find the angle using the law of cosine for at least two of the sides, and then once we were able to do that, we could just do basic subtraction to get the answer for the third angle, if you will. That's how you do it. So let me back up because I think I misspoke. We'll use the law of cosine to calculate two angles, not two sides. We already knew the sides. To calculate two angles, and then once we knew the two angles, we just did basic math here to find the third angle. Nothing spectacular about that. So I hope this video was useful for you and you were able to understand what we were talking about here. My name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Take care.